Warning, the following is a long list of warnings. If warnings offend you, do not watch this show. Warning, this show contains adult themes. If you're not an adult, do not watch this show. Warning, this show contains a lot of offensive language and may contain graphic content. If you are a Karen, do not watch this show. Warning, this show may contain shabby impersonations of celebrities. If you are a celebrity, represent one, or think this is unfair, do not watch this show. Warning, this show may contain what could be seen as controversial and subversive ideas and opinions. If you can't handle differing opinions, do not watch this show. Warning, this show actively shows the consumption of tobacco, cannabis, and alcohol. If this offends you, do not watch this show. Warning, this show may discuss topics including, but not limited to, those in the realm of politics and conspiracy theories in a politically incorrect format. If these topics offend you or make you uneasy, do not watch this show. Warning, the producers of this show will do almost anything for a laugh. If comedy or extreme comedic premises offend you, please do not watch this show. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the producers, affiliates, hosts, ISPs, streaming platforms, advertisers, partners, or alike.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location inside the beautiful land of the Blackfoot Confederacy and Treaty 7 territory, Big Nate Productions presents Getting Laid with Nate.
Hey, happy Friday. How's it going, everybody? I want to thank everybody for pulling together and getting me my 100 subscribers. I unfortunately am not streaming on YouTube right now for some reason, but I do have 100 subscribers, which means that I was able to change the suffix of my YouTube channel to youtube.com/c/gettinlatewithnate. It was thanks for all you early adopters. Much appreciated. We're gonna, and I wanted to say real quick, I kind of made a post about this today, but maybe I'll just say it really quick. So when I did my podcast, Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard, I did 13 episodes and I threw them away. And the reason I did that on the podcast, I'm not considering this my podcast, but the reason I did that is because, I don't know, I was trying to rip off Joe Rogan. I was fucking going too long. I'd get all hammered and I'd have to edit for hours and hours and hours and stuff like that. But doing this show has been a lot different, but the same kind of. This is the 14th episode. And thanks to all the guests that have come on in those 13 episodes. But this episode feels like the first big one anyways. So earlier this week, I sent Brien Foerster, my buddy Jimmy turned me on to him. He's a crypto, well, I don't know, what would you call it? Like ancient technology. Oh, by the way, hold on, before I get into Brien. Hey, Chase, how's it going, buddy?
I'm pretty good, Nate.
I think we have a camera angle of Chase. Let's try to.
We do have
look!
a camera angle.
Fuck, he's in a different part of the city at a different time.
Shit.
Holy shit! Yeah. So, getting it together over here. So yeah, I shot. My buddy Jimmy turned me on to Brien, and he's into the ancient artifacts. He has a tour company that goes to all kinds of crazy places around the world and looks at the megalithic structures. You could consider him a megalithic structure expert. He lives in Paracas, Peru. He's also really into the elongated skulls, and as you'll hear and see, he has one. So at the beginning of this, I shot him an email, and he responded in 5 minutes and he's gracious as hell the whole time, and a real awesome guy. He was in Peru, however, so his internet was good, and then I brought it up in the interview, and I absolutely cursed everything. So after that, his internet dropped out 3 times, and it would be perfect and then drop right out. And so he's like, yeah, and then it hangs up. So that's not him being a jerk. That was just what was going on with the internet and stuff. So at the beginning of this, I play a video for just kind of explaining. It's a video that Brien did, kind of giving you a heads up with the elongated skull stuff, and then we kind of get into everything. So yeah, all the videos that you'll see kind of tagged into this too are Brien's videos himself that I took. So thanks a lot for that too. So without any further ado, here is Brien Foerster.
Welcome to the Paracas History Museum here in Paracas, Peru, just south of Lima. Today I'm going to show you the difference between the Paracas ancient people and other people who have lived in this area. Now this person is an example of Inca. Not Inca as in royal Inca, but Inca as in the time period of the Inca. This is a normal shaped skull, and this person's cranial volume was 1,200 cubic centimeters, which is an average human. Now this is an example of cranial deformation. The volume of this skull is 1,100 cubic centimeters. So again, basically normal. And you can tell, obviously, the deformation by the way it was flattened this way. String was wrapped around this way, possibly a board or some kind of material this way when it was a child, and the flattening was done in order to create this shape, which was desirable by these people. Now, another clue here is you see 3 cranial plates, which is normal. Your skull has that. The frontal, and then the 2 parietal plates. Now, the Inca one has that as well. It's a normal feature in a human being. And then we come to the Paracas. And this skull is very different from the other 2 I've shown you in many different ways. One thing is, in terms of plates, there are only 2. There's 1 frontal and there's 1 parietal. There are not 2 parietals, only 1. The volume of this skull is 1,500 cubic centimeters, so 25% larger than the Inca skull, shown as the example of what normality is. Also, the eye sockets are much larger. The nose seems to be larger. It has these 2 holes in the back, which are indicative of where nerves would come out of the skull to feed this part of the head. That is not a normal feature in a human being, in a normal human being. Now the shape clearly could have been achieved via deformation in order, because we can see this obvious transformation here. However, It's the volume and the fact that there are hundreds of examples of this. There are actually 5 different kinds, 5 different styles of elongated skulls here in the Paracas History Museum. That could represent 5 different social classes. We don't really know. No one studied this since 1928. But what I really want to do, because there are so many people interested in these skulls, is to slowly rotate it for you so that you can stop and freeze frame it if you want at any given time to have a look. The jaw is also much larger than a normal human being, and there seems to be a genetic tendency to have fewer teeth, especially molars. In some cases, there are at least 4 molars missing, other cases 8. And some people have said that that would be the result of a poor diet, which isn't true because the Paracas area was incredibly productive in terms of producing food, both seafood and also land-based agricultural products. And then this, we see, is an example of where trepanation occurred, brain surgery. Again, something seemingly pioneered by the Paracas and later adopted by people such as the Inca and the Nazca. So this is just a brief introduction to what I wish to show you here at the Paracas History Museum, and feel free to come at any time and explore this phenomenon with us. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Brien Foerster. Thanks for coming on. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. How about you?
Good, good. So everybody knows you put together hiddenincatours.com, as they can see below. That's your website. And can you explain what you do with that?
Sure. We take people to places in Peru, Bolivia, Easter Island, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, and other ancient locations that show obvious evidence that there are stone structures that predate the civilizations supposedly responsible for them. So it's important to take people in person because it's a lot better to see it with your own eyes than simply reading a book or watching a video.
Sure.
And so that's what we've been doing for about 12 years now.
I wanted to give the people a bit of background on you. You have an honors bachelor degree of science from UVic, right? University of Victoria. But you were born in Wisconsin. What brought you to Canada?
Actually, I was born in Minnesota.
Oh, sorry, Minnesota.
My father was studying at the Mayo Clinic. So after I was born, we moved. My parents were Canadian, so we moved back to Canada. But my mom wanted me to be born in the U.S. so that I could have dual citizenship.
Sure, that's something we have in common. I have 2 passports as well. So after that, from what I understand, around the age of 20, that must have been right after university, you got into totem pole carving? How did that come about?
Yeah, I actually started that when I was about 11 or 12. I just had a fascination with the ancient culture of the area, like the Haida people, because they had have a much longer history than, we, the colonizers of Canada. So I just, they understand the natural world and stuff like that. And so I just decided to art style, and that became a profession of mine for about 12 years.
It says that you carved like 15 full-size totem poles. Is that true?
Yeah, I did that. I carved masks and boxes and canoes and paddles and all sorts of stuff like that.
Wow, terribly interesting. Awesome. And then that brought you out to Maui to do a massive double-hulled canoe?
Yeah, I started going to Hawaii when I was 12, and again, had a fascination with the native culture there. So when I was 36, I moved to Hawaii for 2 years, and I got involved in a big canoe building project on Maui.
Oh, I should also say, sorry, that you're joining us today from Paracas, Peru, and thank you for that. I'm surprised the internet is so good. And can you explain to the people what the Star Child project is?
Sure, the Star Child is a skull that was found in Mexico. It looks humanoid, but it doesn't look human. And the man in charge of that for quite a long time was Lloyd Pye, who unfortunately died a few years ago. And they found, doing chemical and physical analysis, they found at least 25 different aspects of it that make it appear that it's not human and that it could very well be an alien skull.
So the people will have watched the video I put up that you did from 2012 about the elongated skulls of Paracas. Do we have a date? Do we know when the last one died, or?
Yeah, around 100 AD.
Wow. And do we know how tall they were?
Between 5'10" and 6'2".
That's oddly specific. There were I saw some drone footage. It looked like drone footage. You had I was trying to find it. Maybe I'll be able to find it again. You had an elongated skull from a private collection, and it looked like you had a drone that was flying around it, getting real close up to it. And it still had hair and stuff on it. Like, it had red hair?
Right.
So, do you figure they all had red hair?
Yeah, they did. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Oh, so it's your private collection.
I'm the caretaker of it.
Oh, fair enough. So, how old is that one, do you figure? 100 AD?
Actually, we had it carbon dated. It's 2,400 years old.
Wow. Okay, so these people survived the cataclysm then, correct?
Well, the interesting thing is about their DNA. We tested 20 different Paracas skulls, and only 2 of them showed Native American ancestry. They didn't originate. They had to have migrated from somewhere else.
Any theories on that? Where they came from?
I think they came from Eurasia because the haplogroups, maternal haplogroups, match those that are found in the area of the Black Sea and Caspian Sea.
Is there any evidence of those kind of skulls over there?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
almost exactly the same.
Huh. Wow, that is so interesting. I wanted to talk about polar shifts. Do you think there's been more than one?
I think what happened was that at the end of the last ice age, the axis of the Earth shifted, and it's quite possible that that's happened several different times over the course of history. So I think we went from being a vertical planet to tilted to 23.5 degrees, which is where we are now.
Do we have any kind of an estimation of a date of when it shifted to 24 degrees?
Yeah, about 13,000 years ago.
Right. So that's when the big cataclysm was. Either asteroid impact or like solar flare. That's the best guess anybody has right now, right?
Yeah, or all of the above, that it was a series of different things that happened, that objects entered into our solar system from outside, and that also that there were plasma flares from the sun during that time period as well. That's why we find ancient sites that show severe heat damage.
You were even showing like a colossal statue where its face was all melted and stuff. And I know there's green glass out. That's out in the same desert, right?
Yep. It's in Libya and in Egypt.
So the green glass is only made when it's got to be real hot. I mean, so like I've heard people infer that, maybe an asteroid exploded over the land to make that green glass. Do you have is there any other theories on that?
No, that's the main theory, is that it was fragments of like comet fragments or fragments of meteors or meteorites that struck the desert itself and liquefied the sand and turned it into glass. I've got a big chunk of it right in front of me, actually, that a friend in Egypt gave to me.
Yeah, because it's like used for jewelry and stuff like that, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. I imagine you're familiar with Randall Carlson, correct? And his work?
Oh, you bet.
So do you prescribe to that theory that from what I understand, just to try to explain to the people, that there was a series of comets that hit the North American ice sheet and basically vaporized, 10 miles of ice in 10 seconds?
Well, it was really rapid. And again, it's a really complex story that likely took place over the course of 1,000 years. So there were probably a bunch of different events that happened. But Randall's absolutely brilliant.
Coming out of the cataclysm, Mauritania. So you put out a theory. Well, maybe it wasn't your theory, but that Mauritania could have possibly been Atlantis because of the circles. What did they find there?
Actually, unfortunately, they didn't find much. There was a guy, actually a Canadian guy called Josh Sigurdsson, who has a channel called World Alternative Media, and he went there physically, and he was hoping to find like the remains of ancient large buildings and things, but he didn't find much of anything. So he was very disappointed. So that I think that theory's gone out the window. That the theory was that could have been the lost city of Atlantis, but now that's kind of highly unlikely.
Where are the other theoretical places that Atlantis could have been? What's your top three?
Well, I think maybe in the Caribbean or maybe Antarctica, because there's a lot of study going on secret studies in Antarctica right now. And very high officials from institutions in different countries going there for no explainable reason. So the theory is that that's where this great ancient civilization lived. And again, around 12 to 13,000 years ago, when the shift in the axis of the Earth changed, that's when Atlantis was basically frozen solid, because originally it would have been in a more contemporate climate or temperate climate.
Antarctica is so weird to me because, if I had the means to get there, could I just show up and go there and have a look around?
No,
that's illegal, right?
No, a friend of mine called Brad Olson, who's he's a author and researcher. He went there, I think 6 months ago. He was given a bunch of false information that there was a major general in the U.S. military that he was going to be able to meet, and he would be taken to one of these secret bases where they supposedly found alien or other advanced technology. And when he showed up there, he was told that person doesn't exist. So
brutal.
He wasted a fortune and a lot of time and getting seasick to go to Antarctica and got nothing out of it.
Terrible. So people know there is treaties with every country in the world that only the military can send scientists and stuff like that, right? There's
Yeah, it seems like it. I think tourists can go and look at the penguins and stuff, but in terms of accessing so-called sensitive areas, there's no way you can go there.
You've done a lot of research. Have you been to Baalbek? You have, right?
Twice, yeah.
And what do you think that stuff was. Like the giant. I saw you. I think you were standing in front of a. Would you say it was like a 1,200-ton rock or something?
Yeah, there's one in the quarry. There's a stone that's still attached to the bedrock that's 1,200 tons. And then right next to it, they just excavated another one that's below it that's 1,600 tons.
And what do you figure they were building with that?
Well, somebody was building something, and then I think again this cataclysm struck and probably vaporized anybody and plant life that was there, and so it stood there unfinished, like these 800-ton blocks, 1,000-ton blocks, and then the Romans discovered the location about 2,000 years ago, and they built on top of it. They built temples, and then in the Middle Ages. Other people turned it into a giant fortress. So you see three distinct construction periods, incredible, huge stone blocks to start with. And then the Roman stuff is relatively big. And then in the Middle Ages, they were just like shifting blocks around to build a rough fortress out of it. It's really obvious when you go there.
Yeah, I saw some of that. I'll post a picture of it where it's like all this giant, super precision rock work that you can't stick a piece of paper in between, and then all this like little, stuff you can tell is from the 1500s or whatever over it, especially in South America. Like, what was the one? Is it Puma Punku?
Mm-hmm.
Puma Punku. They have those giant H stones.
Yeah.
That are like cut in. Any ideas? What you've been there, so what do you think they were building there, like pre cataclysm?
Well, the problem is that a lot of Puma Punku was used as a quarry up until relatively recently. So a lot of the material, a lot of the stone was taken to build the little town nearby, and then some of it was even taken to the city of La Paz. So there's not as much left there as I would like. But what we see, again, is that it looks like a giant wall of mud struck that location and buried the site. And then it was discovered by the Tiwanaku civilization 2,000 years ago and turned into a temple. But
right.
That place is unique on the planet. There's nowhere else that looks like it. The construction technique used is completely unique. The precision is astonishing, like almost laser flat surfaces. And the academics say that it was a Bronze Age people who did that, and that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've been there 60 times so far, and it's one of my favorite places on the planet.
On to Egypt. I didn't realize until I was watching one of your videos that the pyramids are actually 8-sided, and they kind of concave in a little bit. Is this a new revelation? I always thought it was just 4 sides.
Well, it's relatively new. You can only see it from the air, and only 2 days a year during the equinoxes that you see there's a slight crease that goes into each side of the pyramid. And that's true of the Great Pyramid and also the Third Pyramid. I don't remember if the Second Pyramid is that way as well, but that would make it even more complicated in terms of construction. And then also why you would do that, maybe it had something to do with energy or acoustics or vibration.
Cool. That's kind of why I wanted to get into this, because my personal theory, and I'm not an academic, and I've been to Europe a couple times and seen some castles, but I haven't seen any of this neat stuff, is that because of the lack of art art and bodies anywhere inside any of these pyramids, that to me it looks like they were some kind of giant, the way I describe it is Tesla coil style energy machine that was giving free wireless power to the whole entire world pre-cataclysm. What do you think of that idea?
Well, I think they were energy focusing instruments. I think they used the natural energy of the earth to to focus that energy. And I think of it more as an ancient Wi-Fi system, that it was the pyramids were the collectors of the energy and then transmitted that to the obelisks, which are made of granite, because the dynastic Egyptians could not have made the obelisks because each one is one piece of stone, and there's of granite, and there's one that's still in the quarry at Aswan that would have weighed 1,200 tons if it had ever been completed. So I think it's like an energy. Not sure if it's electricity or just some other form of energy that was being transmitted to very specific locations.
I mean, to me, that's the only way anybody could move that stuff, is if you had enough directed, focused energy to some, because they've done experiments where they can use acoustics to lift stuff up, but it seems like you would need an insane amount of power to be able to move, like anything. But if you were standing there, it would look like somebody's just like waving a wand and moving a 1,200 ton stone around.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
The pyramid, the Great Pyramids of Giza, used to be coated in a fine limestone. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's called Tura limestone, and the quarry for that is in Cairo. So they had to move all of that material from across the Nile River to the Giza Plateau. The core is a rougher, more mineral-rich limestone, but the Tura limestone casing is pure calcium carbonate. So it would have gleamed like a golden or white massive pyramid when it was originally built.
Was there any art on that, on the outside of the pyramid? No. There's no art anywhere until like dynastic Egypt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's mind-blowing. I didn't really put that together. So on the shafts on the inside of the pyramids, they have a different kind of limestone as well, correct?
Yeah, well, the Giza Plateau is actually, it's a massive area. It goes to other locations like Saqqara, etc. So it's not just 3 pyramids in a row. It covers I think hundreds of square miles, and There is a series of tunnels and shafts underneath that were carved into the bedrock on the plateau. Because I've been 4 stories inside the bedrock of very close to the Great Pyramid.
But it goes down further, right? You were only able to get access to 4 stories down, but it goes further, right?
Yeah, we only had time, actually. The problem is that I went with a friend of mine who's a guide there, and he, we started in the early afternoon, and he had to do some bribing of some people, but we got to go down 4 stories underground, and he said, "Do you want to keep going?" And I said, "Well, they're closing in half an hour, so I guess we better leave." But he said there are at least 14 stories.
Wow. Yeah. You wouldn't want them to slam the door when you're down there, eh?
No.
It's because it's like straight down too. I watched that video. It's like 100-foot long ladders going down, like straight down, and it seems like quite a hike.
Yeah, it's mildly treacherous, but it's well worth the experience.
Yeah. So there's those giant sarcophagus-looking things. They're giant black boxes that, with the lids that were cut off the top, like it looks like they're all the same piece of rock, right?
Yeah.
And they basically hermetically seal. They're made so well. And what do you think was in those?
Well, that's the curious thing. They're much bigger than a normal human being. Like, they're way bigger than a normal human being. Some of them weigh 100 tons apiece.
Right.
And when they were first found or rediscovered in the 19th century by archaeologists, all of the lids were slightly ajar. So only one of them was sealed, and so they blew one end of it off to see what was inside, and they found nothing. And when I was there last time, a local expert told me, and I'm not joking, he said when they were first discovered, they found humanoid bodies inside that looked like they had been barbecued.
Really?
Yeah.
But giant bodies?
He just said humanoid.
Unbelievable. I always assumed that's kind of how this machine worked, is they had some kind of, let's say, like Ark of the Covenant type thing that they would just put in there and it would go whoop, 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 and just start the whole, it was like the starter on the motor, you know?
Yeah, I think they were almost like giant capacitors for storing energy.
Yeah, because again, the like no art and the specific using this on the outside and this, it's like insulators, and it's so weird and interesting to me. So they have found one body, then a barbecued one.
No, supposedly a number of them.
Wild. We were talking about Baalbek there and people building on top of stuff. Is that not the case with the Parthenon as well? It's built, the Parthenon was built on top of an ancient structure.
Yeah, it looks like it was built on a giant megalithic outcrop.
Yeah. That's
so it's older than the Greeks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's hope they're finding stuff down in Antarctica they're going to tell us about one day so we can get some answers to all this.
Well, I hope so, but they're being very secretive about what they're doing, of course. That's the important thing about going to these locations, is to see in person, the obvious evidence of very advanced ancient civilizations existing in different places. And that's what I continue to do when I can.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So I imagine, I heard that there was quite a harrowing story for you to get home once the COVID broke out here.
Yeah, very much so. 2 days before the end of our March tour in Egypt, everyone had to go home. So there was a great scramble to get to the Cairo airport to get flights back to different countries. And I wound up having to fly from Cairo to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, which was one of the last planes up before they shut down the Cairo airport. And then went from Abu Dhabi to JFK and stayed overnight in Manhattan. And then that next morning, New York City was being shut down. So luckily I was able to get to a relative's house in New Jersey, where I stayed for 5 weeks. And then I went to Florida for 2 weeks, and then Cancun for a month, and then Puerto Vallarta for a month. Then I was able to get a repatriation flight from Miami to Lima, and then I was put in quarantine for 5 days.
Wow.
So it was supposed to be like 2.5 weeks, and it turned out to be 4 months.
Wow. And you don't strike me as the kind of guy, I mean, yeah, you'll go to Cairo to see the pyramids and stuff, but you don't seem like you'd want to hang out in New Jersey too long.
I didn't. Well, what I did is I gradually worked my way south.
Sure, yeah.
I kept checking week after week about the airport opening up in Peru, and it's like, no, they kept. I had 5 different flights that were canceled in succession. So luckily, I was able to get this emergency flight back, because otherwise, I'd still be out of the country. Right.
So then, with all this COVID shenanigans, you probably haven't been able to do any of the tours, right?
No. We had one in June that got canceled. We had one this month that got canceled. Now we have one coming up in November. Hopefully it won't get canceled, but we just don't know.
Thank you for taking the time out today to meet with me here. And it's been very informative. And everybody go check out Brien's website, hiddenincatours.com. And go to his YouTube channel and check out the tons of videos he has about all this stuff. And be safe down there in Peru. Wasn't that awesome? Isn't Brien? I can't believe I sent that guy an email. He responded in 5 minutes. He was ready to throw down. It was awesome. And I mean, I think the internet, it dropped 3 times, like I was saying, and we had to recall. He's like, I got to reset my router and all this BS. So I think it was mildly frustrating for him. I mean, for me, I'm used to it doing this show. It's just constantly like that. So I want to thank Brien for coming on the show, and thank all of you. Get David Icke. Yeah. I don't know if I have enough cocaine to get David Icke. So now I've been sending some interesting emails, like I said, during last week, and I've been getting some interesting responses. So this is an artist, and I'd just like to preface by saying that, I kind of look at this as like my giant art gallery, right? Like I ask people like Danny, we were playing the Keep It Cheaps and stuff. It's just nice to show art that I like and stuff like that. And if you want to do it, start your own show. But this is something on the internet I constantly get hooked on called, I was going to email him and ask him. It looks like place boying, but I was talking with my buddy Dave, and he's like, no, it's placeboing. And then I was looking it up, and I think that's right. It's placeboing. But what I wanted to do, I'm going to show a bunch of these every week, but I went way back in his first videos, and we're going to start from there. So we're going to start from there. We're going to watch 1 or 2 of these because they're not very long. They're like a minute and something. And then we're going to call Tom Green.
Well, it was, she kind of grabbed me and she put me over her knee and she... Little boy, don't stop with little boy. Discipline. Never. So she was leading you, don't do it, don't do it. So she was just... So they were...
Yeah. Sorry, you won't get that minute 18 back. But, yeah, I wanted to... Yeah, is that Bill Gates? Good question. I thought that at first, too. We don't know. But, yeah, here, we're going to call Tom Green now. You know what's funny? I don't talk on the phone that much, so... 1-5... It's all right here. It's all, like, ready to go. Okay. 1-510-925-1565. You call him too. Ah, bastard. Okay. I thought maybe tonight if we tried a little later, we might deke him out. 1-323-822-5300. Come on, Tom, pick it up. Is gay username there still? He just got a new dog, I heard.
This mailbox is not currently accepting messages because voicemail has not yet been activated.
All right, if you know Tom Green or know somebody that knows Tom Green, hook it up. All right, we're going to play another one of these placebo-ings. This is a really famous one. Again, I don't think this guy thought I was going to play every single one of his fucking videos, but I pretty much am. This one you'll recognize. This has like, what is it? 11,000,005 views. Hit it, Chase.
Every day of my life.
Too much. Hilarious. Okay, so now you're going to get to see somebody way better looking than me. I got to sit down with my friend Samantha Landa this week. It was awesome. I haven't seen her in forever. We figured out we've known each other since about 2014. She's a super sick drummer. And anyways, I talked to her for a while. Check it out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am here today with a good pal of mine. She's the drummer for Conquer Divide, the Anti-Queens, and of course, Dead Asylum from Vancouver. She's a Sabian, Mapex, and Los Cabos sponsored artist. And she also, just by coincidence, and thank you very much, happens to be the first female guest on Getting Late with Nate. Give it up for Samantha Landa, everybody.
What's up? Thank you so much for having me, Nate. I'm super stoked to be here and loving the palm trees.
Yeah, everybody on the Zoom call, she can see palm trees, but you can see stormy Calgary behind me.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
But thanks. They are a nice touch, aren't they? So you, we're going to talk about drum stuff. Well, obviously, your whole life's drum stuff, so there's no way not to talk about drum stuff. But we'll get into the music end of it late in a sec. But you're a writer at Drumeo, is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. It's my full-time job. I'm very, very fortunate. So I get to write articles about drums. I get to interview cool drummers. And I get to do it all from home or wherever I happen to be at the moment. So I'm very, very fortunate. And Drumeo is a wicked company to work for as well.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's nice. You have a COVID-proof job. That's no Band-Aid ripping off required.
So fortunate. I really counting my blessings when it comes to my work situation. And you know, when the pandemic hit and everything was just, you know, no one knew what to expect. No one knew what was going to happen. And I think it was really it's been a really uncertain time for a lot of people. And I'm very, very grateful to have been able to kind of, you know, at home things didn't change too much. So
fair enough. We were digging up some dirt on you here. Some good dirt. Good dirt. You were a judge in the Hit Like a Girl contest the last couple of years. Can you explain to everybody what that is?
For sure. Yeah, so last year and this year I was a judge. It's an international online drumming competition for girls and women who drum. And it's been going for quite a while, I think almost 10 years now. And it's really just there to highlight and bring more visibility to female drummers. And so I've been judging the teen category. And it's just been really, really cool, you know, seeing videos from these up-and-coming drummers, and they're awesome, and they're just so full of energy and passion. And, yeah, it's been a really, really cool thing to be a part of.
Cool. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit your video, so I interrupted you at the end there. Fuck, I'm trying to get more staff so that I don't have to do some.
You need one button pusher. It's just like, all right, all you got to do is press the space bar. And they're like, what? What?
I know. I wrangled my buddy Dave in here. He's doing a great job at the video switching, and I'm still screwing stuff up. It's hilarious. But I think that's why people watch. Like, we met because of Dead Asylum.
Yep.
Your band from Vancouver.
Yeah.
And you moved out to Montreal in what, 2017, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 years ago.
So, yeah, been flying into gigs and all this rad stuff.
It's been, I knew that would happen. And I said to the guys when I told them that I was moving, I said, I don't know how long I'm moving for, if it's a permanent move or not. We might just go for a year. We're going to see if we like it. And I completely understand if you want to find another drummer. But I just wanted to be totally transparent with them. And we decided we'd try to make it work. And we really wanted to focus more on touring anyway and just trying to get out of Vancouver rather than just playing locally too often. So it kind of went with the direction we were heading anyway. But yeah, no, we managed to make it work. And I'd say the hardest part really is just writing remotely. I think the rest is not that challenging. But writing is definitely, can be challenging for sure.
And then the Anti-Queens, they're kind of like a punk outfit out of Toronto, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like punk and rock and roll together. Sure. And we've been writing a new album. Actually, I'm going out to Toronto in a couple days for some pre-production. And then we're doing an album in about a month or so. So that's been a lot of like back and forth writing, demoing ideas. And it's too bad because I just joined the band a month and a half before everything shut down. And so we only got to play 2 gigs together, and we had a bunch of tours planned this year, and I had gone out there the weekend that the shutdown happened, and we had 2 gigs. We had one in Hamilton and one in Windsor, and very last minute they got canceled. Luckily I was there, so we did some writing, but that's the last time that I saw them. So we haven't seen each other since March. So I'm stoked to see them. Yeah. Yeah,
there's been a lot of terrible time. Like everybody, this keeps coming up on the show. It was like everybody was so pumped for 2020, set up for 2020 to be, And,
yeah.
Wow.
And we've all just 2020 is like, you fools. Why would you ever think this was going to be a good year? Here, enjoy this. And I think, I actually had an Instagram post earlier this year when I went to Michigan to film the Conquer Divide videos. And I had written, there's a lot in store for 2020. I can't tell you just yet, but I'm so excited. And some of it was the Conquer Divide stuff, but it also was Anti-Queens was supposed to tour in Europe. We were supposed to tour with the Creek Show in May. We were supposed to do some other stuff. Obviously it all, hit the fan.
All right, so I wanted to talk about Conquer Divide. When did you join that band?
Well, let me see. When did we film the videos? Well, they approached me late 2019, I guess, saying, "Hey, we're kind of coming back out of hibernation, and are you interested in coming out and doing? We're going to do a video for the song, and et cetera, et cetera." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." We were already talking about me drumming for the band when it was forming, 8 years ago or whatever, and it didn't work out at the time. Yeah. It just, it didn't happen at the time for a variety of reasons, and so I just kept following the band, and I was kind of like, man, it seems like a really, really awesome band, and I stayed in touch with the band founder, and we met up at NAMM a couple years ago and stuff, and she reached out to me again a little while ago, and so I flew to Michigan in February, and we did a bunch of stuff. We did the Chemicals video, we shot a video for the cover of Bad Guy, and it was fun.
Nice.
So that's pretty new.
when I was researching this band, I see that it's members of the U.S., U.K., and are you the only Canadian, or?
Yeah, I'm the Canadian.
Yeah, and then former members were Serbian. There was a former Serbian member.
Yeah, the last drummer is from Serbia. Yeah.
Nice, cool, and wow, Joey Sturgis produced this. What we're about to hear, eh?
He's the man.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done some really, really good work with this band. I mean, I don't think he can do anything other than the best work anyway, so I was expecting nothing less than, like, awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Let's check it out. This is Chemicals by Conquer Divide. We'll be right back. Holy shit. Nice work. Jesus.
I'm glad you like it.
So, yeah, you did say you went down there to film this video. You were all in the same room to film this video, right?
Yeah, this is where the timing worked out amazingly because we filmed this literally weeks, like just a couple of weeks before everything shut down, the borders shut down, and we wouldn't have been able to do it. And really, really lucky with the timing. And it's funny because there were people who were like, wow, you chose a weird time to release a video. And it's funny. It's like, oh no, it was going to get released anyway. There was no point in waiting, another year or two to release it. And we're so lucky that the timing worked out and we got that done.
Yeah, no doubt. Fucking nailed it. Yeah, timing wise there. That's pretty rad. Yeah, Dave and I were wondering, like, is this the best Zoom video that's ever been made? Like, did everybody, were they all in their green screen places and they somehow put this together? Like, holy shit.
That's just everyone in their bedrooms at home.
Yeah.
Jeb Hardwick, who's the director, he just did such an amazing job of us in our bedrooms. It's amazing. I have no doubt that, like, if anyone could pull that off, he could. Like, the guy is just an absolute. He's just amazing, and what he did with a green screen is incredible. And it's cool seeing like reviews and reaction videos to this video. And there've been a couple people who are saying, "Is that a green? There's no way that's a green screen. It's just like it's too real, or it looks like this dirty huge warehouse." It's 100% green screen, and it's so much of this amazing like post production and effects and. It was really cool the first time seeing it after, we didn't know exactly what it was going to look like after.
I wish I had more questions. I wish it was like, well, when are you guys going on tour next? And, when's your next date? But how many of those got all canceled for you and all this stuff for that band?
Well, for Conquer Divide, there was nothing booked because a lot of people just didn't know that the band was going to be active again. And it was kind of a big surprise for a lot of people. And that was the whole point was to kind of come back,
Gotcha.
With a banger and stuff like that. And just like surprise, the band is back and things like that. Yeah, because the band has been inactive for a couple of years. And I think a lot of people were asking, hey, what's going on? Are you still a band? Did you break up? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? So now there's, some new music, things like that. There's some other things in the works. There's also other YouTube videos and playthroughs and things that will come out over the next couple months. But nothing was canceled because nothing was booked at the time. So hopefully at some point when tours can resume that band will tour, but we just don't know yet.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I wanted to ask was, so is this part of a whole album or like, because I notice a lot of the bands I've been interviewing on the show, they're, especially right now since all of this kicked in, is they're just releasing singles, right? They'll do a single with their video and then kind of, maybe they're doing an EP, but they're like leaking it. Is that what's going on here? Or is there a full record behind all this?
Yeah, right now the plan basically is, we're releasing singles. I don't know if and when there will be an album. Like, I don't have the answer to that at the moment.
Gotcha.
There's definitely other songs that are written that I think people will hear at some point. I think it's just a matter of trying to come up with a plan in order to, keep the band active, keep people engaged, be able to release new music and give people what they want and give them something to look forward to as well. But it's hard to say at this point. Currently, there isn't like a complete album package right now that's going to be released in the near future. But I think just stay tuned and that will be answered at some point. Yeah,
no, right on. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast. It's just nice to catch up. We haven't spoken in a while. It's great. Good to see you. And like I said earlier, your epic beard, always just getting longer, creeping slowly towards the depths of, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get hit by lightning one day because it's so long. I don't know.
Yeah. You'll say, no, but it's in the other direction. So the beard is grounding you.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I'll be saved.
If you get hit by lightning, your beard will save you, and you'll be saved by the beard, and then they'll make a teen, like a high school sitcom about you called Saved by the Beard. Anyway. I'm not even a dad.
I'm in. We need to talk about writing screenplays together after this is over. I got a couple ideas.
Oh, well, definitely. Yeah.
So where should people check you out? I've had your name and as a name tag under your image, and then at Landa Drums, right? On Instagram. On
Instagram. I'm Sam Landa Drums on Facebook. Okay. And I've got a YouTube channel. I will have some new YouTube drum playthroughs in the near future. So you can check out my channel as well. But I'm mostly active on Facebook and Instagram. And I appreciate any support and any followers. And people have been really, really, really kind, like surprisingly kind for the internet. So I'm grateful to anyone who's interested in following what I'm doing and supporting. So, yeah.
Well, that's great. Stay safe out there in Montreal. Say hi to Greg for me.
Absolutely. And stay safe and good luck with the rest of the show. And I think this is great. And I can't wait to see more.
Thanks. Peace. Yeah. Thanks, Samantha Landa, for doing that. Isn't she great? What'd you think of that, Chase? What'd you think?
Oh, dude, I loved it, man. I love watching drummers.
You're a drummer too, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
All right.
Watching the behind the scenes on the drummers all the time, man.
All right.
Always the best.
Okay, so now some more placeboing. Number 3, sir.
Oh boy. 14 to 22 inches of snow. Oh boy. 14 to 22 inches of snow! Snow! Record-breaking storm! Record-breaking storm comes today! Comes today! Record-breaking storm! Record-breaking storm comes today! Comes today! Oh boy.
What the fuck, eh? Oh, I gotta get tall. Yeah, I don't get it. But we're watching the evolution of an artist. For those that are just joining us, we've started the oldest placeboing videos, and here's one more. This is interesting. This is a Breaking Bad remix, which I've only ever watched the first and last episode of Breaking Bad, so it was pretty funny to watch this. This has like 6.8 million views. This guy let me play this stuff. I can't believe it. Let's check it out.
Oh yeah! Wow! This kid's like a mule with his balls wrapped duct tape. Wow! Wow! Tight! Yeah! Damn, man! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look! Damn, man! Look at that! Look! Don't look at me. All right. Now beat it! Hit it.
Gotta prove to the man I'm rehabilitated.
Bullshit. I got the bitch! Hey!
Dills yes, brother man, brother man.
Sick.
Dills yes, brother man.
Explosions.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Do that thing! 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 Pop, pop, pop! Pop, 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 pop! What is that? Pop, pop, pop! Pop, 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 pop! Snap!
Get a full pound of the blue stuff. Get a full pound of the blue stuff. The blue stuff. Get a full pound of the blue stuff. Get a full pound of the blue stuff.
You don't think, you never think. You don't think, you never figured out how to think. What the hell is wrong with you?
You need me more than I need you.
Shit, no deal, no dice. Shot at and missed, shit on and hit. Like a fish. Sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chocolatey river of mad fish. Sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chocolatey river of mad fish. Sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chocolatey river of mad fish. Sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chalk, sail me down your chocolatey river of mad fish.
Fuck. All right, cool. So welcome to my art gallery again. Thanks to Placeboing for letting me play all that stuff. And, I mean, fuck, that's all I got. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in this evening. Thanks. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep crushing it every week. Chase and I are sitting here. You know, Saved by the Beard has got to be a fucking bit, right? Am I right? Sam came up with our first bit. It's going to be called Saved by the Beard. It's going to go on forever, too. That'll be great. That'll be fucking great. We'll have 15 seasons of Saved by the Beard. By the Beard. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please spread the word. We got over the 100 hump for subscriptions on YouTube, but, you know, if you had a good time and stuff, tell people about it and tell them to get their shit together and get on the stream on Friday or go look it up on the YouTube channel anytime. Everywhere at Getting Late with Nate and Twitter's at Late Nate TV. Whatever. You can find it. And if you have suggestions of stuff, we're open to them. You know, if you got any idea, you got a monologue joke, maybe I'll start telling monologue jokes again when something's funny in the world. Holy fuck. If the police could stop shooting people, that'd be sweet. And with that, we're going to thank you again, everybody. This was really awesome. Feel like we're only going to crush from here. So we're going to play a few commercials. Please, if you're in the Calgary area or BC, anyways, you'll see in the commercials. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Chase. Have a good night.
And thank you for trying to bring back that spirit. It's going to take lots of people pulling together to do it.
This is going to be awesome. Why does it taste like that?
We've never seen anything like that. You mean a drag king?
Whatever disease you get for putting your ass to toilet seat, that guy's out there.
Your roof is an important part of keeping you and your family safe. No Pain Roofing guarantees no pains when it comes to repairing, replacing, and installing your roofing materials. We make exterior renovations painless. Visit nopainroofing.ca for more information.
Bye.